The emergency beacon pierced through the cosmic void like a desperate scream. Commander Sarah Chen adjusted her headset as the distress signal crackled through the communication array of her patrol vessel. Defiant Hope. The frequency was unfamiliar. Not human, not any of the known allied species. Unknown vessel. This is Commander Chen of the Terran Defense Corps. We've received your distress signal. What is your status? Static filled the channel before a trembling voice responded in heavily accented Standard Galactic. Please. We are dying. Ship is breaking. Children aboard. Chen's jaw tightened. Children changed everything. Transmitting coordinates for rendezvous. Hold your position. We're coming. Her navigation officer, Lieutenant Rodriguez, glanced up from his console. Ma'am, those coordinates place them in the disputed zone. If the hegemony finds us there, then we'd better work fast. Chen cut him off. The disputed zone was a no-man's land between human space and the territory of the Krelian hegemony, a militaristic empire that had been expanding aggressively across this sector. Any human vessel found there would be considered an act of war. 20 minutes later, the Defiant Hope dropped out of hyperspace near a dying vessel unlike anything Chen had seen before. The ship was organic-looking, with flowing curves and what appeared to be bioluminescent panels flickering weakly along its hull. Massive gashes had torn through its side, and atmosphere was visibly venting into space. Life signs? Chen asked. 17 aboard, Captain. 12 adults, 5 smaller signatures, probably children. Rodriguez paused. Ma'am, I'm also detecting 3 Krelian destroyers approaching fast. 8 to 12 minutes. Chen's mind raced. 12 minutes to evacuate 17 beings from a ship she'd never seen before, while Krelian warships closed in. The smart military decision would be to withdraw immediately. But those life signs included children. Prep the shuttle. Emergency evacuation protocols. The shuttle bay opened and Chen personally piloted the rescue craft toward the alien vessel. As they approached, she could see figures moving behind transparent sections of the hull. Tall, graceful beings with elongated limbs and what appeared to be flowing, tendril-like hair. The docking was rough. The alien ship systems were failing, and their docking ports were incompatible. Chen had to use emergency cutting tools to breach their hull, praying she wouldn't cause a catastrophic decompression. The moment the seal was established, the aliens began flowing through the passage. They were even more striking up close, humanoid but ethereal, with skin that seemed to shimmer with an inner light. Their large, dark eyes held an intelligence that reminded Chen painfully of her own daughter back on Earth. Thank you, gasped what appeared to be their leader, a tall female with intricate patterns glowing along her arms. I am Veltar. We are Lumari. Our ship. Krelian attack. Chen helped guide the evacuees through the passage. How many more? My mate. Trapped in engineering. He stays to maintain life support for the children. Chen's heart sank as she looked at the 5 young Lumari huddled together. The smallest couldn't have been more than equivalent to a human 6-year-old. Large, frightened eyes stared up at her, and she was reminded why humans had earned their reputation across the galaxy, not for their military might, but for their stubborn refusal to abandon those in need. Rodriguez, status on those destroyers. 8 minutes out, Captain. Chen made her decision. Get the civilians to the Defiant Hope. I'm going after the father. Ma'am, that's an order, Lieutenant. Chen grabbed an emergency respirator and headed deeper into the dying alien ship. The corridors were filling with toxic smoke, and the bioluminescent panels were going dark one by one. She followed the ship's organic-looking conduits toward what she hoped was engineering. She found him collapsed over a pulsing control node. His hands merged with the biomechanical interface. His life energy was literally powering the ship's failing systems. Hey, Chen shook his shoulder. Your family's safe. Time to go. The Lumari male looked up at her with fading eyes. Cannot leave. Ship dies without me. Children need. Few more minutes. Chen understood. He was using his own life force to keep the ship's atmosphere stable long enough for the evacuation. She looked around desperately, then at her own hands. Humans weren't biocompatible with most alien tech, but show me how. His eyes widened. You cannot. Wrong biology will kill you. Maybe, maybe not. Humans are stubborn that way. Chen placed her hands on the interface. Show me. The connection was agony. Energy ripped through her nervous system as she felt her life force being drawn into the alien ship's dying systems. But it worked. The biomechanical systems responded to her will, her determination to keep these people alive. "Go!" she gasped. "I've got this." The Lumari father stared at her in amazement before stumbling toward the exit. Chen held the connection, feeling the ship's system stabilize under her control. Her vision blurred, but she heard Rodriguez's voice through her comm. "All civilians aboard, Captain." Krelian ships in weapons range. Chen forced herself to maintain the connection until she heard the shuttle disengage. Only then did she rip her hands free and stumbled toward the airlock. The Defiant Hope was already moving, its engines glowing as it prepared to jump to hyperspace. She barely made it to the shuttle as the alien ship finally died behind her. The Defiant Hope jumped just as Krelian weapons fire lit up the space where they'd been. Later, in the medical bay, Chen sat watching the Lumari family reunite. The father was weak but alive, and the children clung to both parents. The smallest approached Chen shyly. "Will you save our father too?" the child had whispered in the shuttle, not understanding that the dangerous part was over. Now seeing the family whole, Chen smiled despite her exhaustion. The child approached again, this time with something like wonder in those large dark eyes. "You are human?" the child asked in carefully pronounced standard. "Yes. Mother says humans save people. Even strangers. Even when dangerous." Chen knelt down to the child's level. Sometimes that's all that matters, that someone needs help. The child's bioluminescent patterns pulsed in what Chen somehow knew was joy. "When I grow up, I want to be human too." Chen laughed, the sound echoing through the medical bay. "Just be yourself, little one. But maybe, be the kind of person who helps others when they need it. That's the most human thing of all." As the Defiant Hope continued toward human space, word of the rescue spread through both human and Lumari channels. The Krelian hegemony condemned the illegal incursion, but 17 saved lives spoke louder than diplomatic protests. And in the galaxy's vast network of species, the legend of human stubbornness, their refusal to abandon those in need, regardless of cost, grew a little stronger.